crying the tears of the incendiary alarms of the weapons that attack, endure, and kill. Crying the world's eyes out, in its heart, the insults of so much rage of the dividing time. Crying the words and images of the whole mental Big Bang production desiring machine, of the unease of the beings in bodies, suffering of the being at its utter despair, crying the clots, the stones, the toys of the species preoccupied with the power of mastication, enslaving the human fence volumes, crying the poverty of the untouchable, unattainable contact, liberating the tears of the collapse of the constructions of the mental megacities in network of resistance in front of the nothing of the flow. Desert that lives there on the beach of the existence of a world attacking the me from all sides, its ramparts without foundation. A house of cards falling in the din and fury of a dying nature in the blocks of the lack of its desert of hunger. Left there in the rubicund of the days, the mouth open, the tongue black of the poison of the industry, of the productions of objects. Progress of progress towards the final solution for a universe at the height of its pain, that is in pain, without the conscience in speech, being able to see or call what creates and establishes as an institution the pain, cruelty, murder of the whole by the whole. Left in the wound of its mouth, thirsty for the pain, through the blind hand of thought reactionary to its emptiness of sense or of senseless sense, empty or full of its fierce and ecstatic crudeness, crying in the fear of this mental pain megalopolis in network of the insult that defends itself from its emptiness threat, crying all the psychological constructions, all the taught bodies of a voracious universe, explosive speeding of the economic and political strategies of an hyper-control for the general death, the evidence advent of an earth of hell and imprisonment redoubling in pain in its pain by refusal of having no pain at all. Crying this absolute pain. That is nothing. But this nothing of the world that thoughtfully denies the unthinkable, eroding, devastating, and absorbing it. Full of vices as we are in the guilty enjoyment of killing and being killed. In short of disappearing us, getting ourselves out of the unbearable puzzle of our absence from the world projected as a boomerang of its mental Big Bang. Sinking in the tears of the blood red of the cheeks hurtling down as an avalanche over the pus and the congenital bruise of the conditioning to the evil thinking slices of sausage made with the pig of virtues. Inhabiting the poverty, the distress, and the wreck in the sunny glory of the ultimate block and blockage. To what evades and comes here right into the heart. Right into the heart. Threat, overall, the evil thinking. Letting oneself drift in the inevitable feeling of the death throes at the stones and stars land, resonating in the emptiness with the fists hitting the face and core of the origin. The mystery of the face of the look of man, and of all the species in the objects of our productions that come in return, returning us in the orbit of the dead angle of any conception of a birth for a dead body to eat. Crying, in the fangs, biting, the convulsing flesh melting in electric tissues. These particles of fury, slightest things losing and turning themselves endlessly in this round of the return of the finitudes of hunger, in counterpoint of an invisible universe of synergy other than war in the pain that gnaws and grinds all its productions to the capital of pain itself. War in the whole of the widespread unease, where all the contradictions of us assail up to the threat of making us lose our marbles and our grip from the controller at the edge, along the shore of an obsessing emptiness. Absolute pain, or pain of absolute. The unknown that always devastates from all the megalopolis in a network of the business of a full tank of suffering lack. Suffering lack in the time of its hunger, always under the knife of its end. Constructions over the ruin, always here and happening. Disaster the angle bracing the destruction of ideological scaffoldings, reiterating the camps of control for programmed deaths. Lonely and alone, persecutors and victims, away from the axle tree of the dynamic of the vision in direct feeling of its fires, incapacity, manipulation, in the tangle of a sovereign intelligence, that in the heart of this pain wins, in proportion and disproportion of its emptiness, with nobody being able to have any control over the strength of an unfathomable process from top to bottom of the constructions. Ignorance constructions collapsing by dynamic increase of the synergic strength of a counterworld at the edge. There is nobody to educate, rule, and order the apparent chaos of the curves and orbs of the invisible disposition in counterpoint of the fists of the world's violence. What moves in the absurd and the cruelty implacably escapes from anything conceiving the good and evil. But untying itself, deteriorating in the strength, and the ungrasped part of a pain that devours, there is some light in the painting of the darkness in its fangs of the radiance. Suffering the radiance of the constitutive pain, delivering from pain by agonistic cooking of the contraries of the mental world in boomerang.